Donald, on the campaign trail, you took a lot of heat recently for attacking Carson. I criticized you on the show saying I still support you for two reasons, and I don't want to go backwards. I'd rather go forwards. Do you think that in the future all Republican candidates should agree to attack Hillary and Obama, not each other during future debates? Wouldn't that be wise?
You, Mike, I know what you said. I know you and I have had a great relationship, but at some point, I have to lay out facts. I have to lay out facts. I'm doing very well in the polls, as you know, and I'm number one. But he's sort of number two. I think he's losing a lot of steam, if you want to know the truth, because if you look at front page of many newspapers today, he had a very bad week because he's having a hard time learning anything about foreign policy, which you don't want, Michael, and I don't. But all I did last week was quote things in his book because he said he has pathological disease and a lot of other things, and
yeah, but it was so brutal. I mean, you must have been a heck of a street fighter in Queens because you know how to get a guy on the ground and really let him have it, Donald. What I'm saying is, a lot of people love you and they really like him. They're not going to vote for him. They want you to win. I personally think that on a campaign, in front of these people in the media, you shouldn't fall into their trap. And always turn the question back to Hillary's failures as Secretary of State. You know that she created this mess in the world through her Arab Spring. You know that by bringing down Gaddafi and killing him when he said don't do it because it'll create chaos and you'll have refugees pouring into Europe. She owns this problem, and yet it never comes up during the debates, Donald.
The world blew up around her. She was a terrible Secretary of State, maybe the worst ever, but I have to beat 15 people. Now, Jindal left, as you saw. He had zero. But Jindal is gone. So, I have to win before I can get to her. Believe me, I think she's going to be easy. She has such a bad record. I think she's going to be easy.
I love it.
But you have to get there first. We have 15 people in a race, and we have to get there first. And one by one, they whittle down. But all I did is hit Carson on things that he said in his book. Now, he wrote the book before he was running for office, I guess, but it was pretty bad stuff that he wrote in the book. So, but I understand. A couple of other people, they said, you don't have to say that. But I felt I had to get the word out because people didn't know. They didn't know. So,
I thought that after I criticized you on air, and I did it as delicately as I could, that I wouldn't be eating lettuce at Mar-a-Lago ever again. But I'm glad to see that you're a bigger man than I am, and you came back on the show because you can take criticism. And by the way, that's more than most politicians are willing to do, Donald. You know and I know that most politicians are so thin-skinned, that if you dare say one word about them that they don't agree with, they excommunicate you. And you did not do that with me. I got to tell you that.
No, look, I understand that you were unhappy about that, but, your show's always been good. You've always been good to me, other than the last couple of weeks. You didn't like what I said, but at some point, hey, why, are you a non-competitive person? You wouldn't do it. You would have done it 5 times worse than I did it, okay?
Well, if I were in your place and I had a chance to knock Carson, I think that what gets you about Carson is that he acts like such a knight. I think what was getting your goat, looking back, knowing kind of a little bit more about you as you've evolved on the campaign trail, is that you didn't like him getting away with it. He's such a nice guy and so sort of unaggressive, when under the surface you're saying there's a monster lurking under the surface. Was that sort of what it was?
He's got some deficiencies, and they're pretty big, and I wanted to let him know. And you understand that. You would have been worse than me, I'm telling you, okay? I know you too well, Michael. You're trying to be like this nice guy. Don't hit. Since when don't you hit people hard? You know,